Hello everyone, I'll be presenting on the topic Insolvency and Bankruptcy Code 2016 Roll-up CAs. So what are the objectives of this code? So the first one would be a new code promotes a better and painless procedure for restructuring or reorganization of a firm's debt. So the main code would not be to give a company into liquidation, but rather revive the business and provide it with the restructuring form or way where the debt can be recovered. Second would be speed up the liquidation of failing businesses. If a company goes into liquidation, the process will be far more faster compared to the previous acts or procedures. IBC introduces the much awaited and much needed creditor driven procedures. So the main objective or importance would be given to creditor rather than the debtor. So these are the three main objectives of the code. So these were the acts. These are 7 acts that were previously guiding insolvency. These laws or acts still exist, but main preference would be given to IBC. So what is a regulator and its framework? So regulator, just as banking terms and bank is usually governed by the RBI and the share market is governed by the SEBI, these both give them rules and regulations to be followed. Similarly, in terms of IBC, Insolvency and Bankruptcy Board of India, this particular board governs the whole process. Adjudicator. When we have cases, we usually go to courts. If there is any case related to IBC, we can either go to National Company Law Tribunal. If you are a firm or a company, you can approach this board, and if you are unsatisfied with whatever results they provide, you can go to a higher authority called National Company Law Appellate Tribunal. And in case you are an individual, you can go to Debt Recovery Tribunal. In terms of insolvency, bankruptcy, liquidation, these 3 words, are they the same or different? Insolvency, it's a financial state. When as an individual or a company, you feel that you're unable to pay your debt, you're in a position of insolvency. While bankruptcy, you filed for bankruptcy and the court legally declares you as bankrupt. So insolvency is a state, while bankrupt, you have to be declared by the court as bankrupt. And in terms of liquidation, it is a process. Once you are declared as bankrupt, the process that goes after that is called liquidation. So what is a liquidator? Once you go into the process of liquidation, the whole process is managed by an individual called the liquidator. It's an officer who is specially appointed to wind up affairs of a company closing. Typically, when company is going into bankruptcy, a liquidator will see how much assets you have, liabilities if you have, how many of them can be settled, how many are required to pay, what are the secured and unsecured creditors, and where to smoothly finish this process. The person who manages all this is called as a liquidator. Corporate insolvency resolution process. As I've mentioned prior, one of the main objectives of this code is to revive the business and not go into liquidation. So this process of reviving the business is corporate insolvency resolution process. Who can initiate it? Financial creditor, operational creditor, or an individual? Who is a financial creditor? A financial creditor is an individual or a firm who has provided you any kind of loan or monetary loan. So for example, you get loans from bank. So bank is considered as a financial creditor and a bank can initiate it. Operational creditor. Operational creditors are usually people from whom you take raw materials or stock on credit. You have a 90 days, 60 days credit period. You are unable to pay back the amount. You have the stock and you are unable to pay back the amount. They are called as operational creditors. And also individual. If an individual lends money to a company and is more than 1 crore rupees, he can initiate this process. What is the time limit? Usually the whole process has to be completed within 180 days, but in special cases the court can extend it to 90 days, and in certain cases max it can be extended to 330 days. But if the court feels that giving it some more time might help the company to revive itself, it can extend the days. Reviving is basically when a company might have raw materials, might have stock, but it doesn't have the potential to sell them. So the arrangements can be done to sell and bring the company back into a position where it can function properly. So next part of the presentation is the role of CAs. So what role can a CA play in this IBC code? So first one would be insolvency professional. A CA can be appointed as an insolvency professional. To become an insolvency professional, you have exams to write and clear, and for CAs it would be under the ICAI board. You write certain papers and clear it, and then you can be appointed as an insolvency professional. What do? They manage the affairs of the debtor company during corporate insolvency process. A CA will manage the affairs of the company and help in the CIRP process. Next is responsibility. Take control of assets and operations, form a management committees of creditors so there is a smooth transaction and settlement with the creditors. Next would be ensuring compliance. Since I've priorly mentioned about 180 days plus 30 days, these timelines to help them comply with the timelines. Next, preparing information memorandum and facilitating resolution plans. Next role would be resolution professional or a liquidator. As mentioned prior, a liquidator is an individual who sees through the liquidation process. Resolution professional is one who is appointed for the resolution process. So is insolvency professional and resolution professional same? They do the same work, but insolvency professional comes under the IBC and he can do many other works in the whole process, but resolution professional is particularly appointed to go through the process. Next is validation and forensic audit. As we all know, there are multiple forms of audit: tax audit, company audit, financial audit, environmental audit, etc. So forensic audit is one of the types of audit, and when a CA is doing the forensic audit, he can assess the financial health, see if he can detect any fraud, mismanagement or any financial irregularities of the company, and while a CA is doing the valuation, he can see that the financial health and the valuation of the company is appropriate. Next would be advisory and consultation services. CAs are known for their consultation ability and to judge the situation and give feedback. So a CA can advise the debtors, creditors and investors about the IBC process, and if an individual is facing any financial difficulties or might go into insolvency, a CA can help them to not go into the process of liquidation but rather give them solutions by restructuring their debt, helping them to understand the situation and get out of it. Next is representation before authorities. As we know that in terms of IBC, the case goes to National Company Law Tribunal. So as a CA, you can be someone who represents the company, firm or an individual in such body corporates. So these are what IBC is, the basics of them and the roles a CA can play in the process. Thank you.